This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome to the Elevate Construction Podcast. This is Reno, the producer, and this is the fourth of 9 podcast episodes recorded in 2017 after implementing Lean on a project. You will hear the voices of Jake Smalley and Jason Schroeder as they reflect on the successes and failures of their experiment. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody. This is Jason and Jake again. We're going to be doing podcast number 3. How are you, Jake?
I'm wonderful. Today is a good day.
Wonderful. I like that. So we're going to record 2 podcasts in the same day. I like that. So it's setting up contracts for a lean culture. So let me just give you a quick, and this should be like 5 minutes. So bear with me here, everybody. Oops, there's my radio. All right. So Paul Akers' book, 2-Second Lean, is really the basis for a lot of the great things that we try to do. He says properly that you really don't have to pay for lean. You know, he doesn't incentivize his people with cash. He doesn't incentivize his people with other rewards. He just makes, lean improvements, morning huddles, and working in a clean environment, a condition of employment, really. And I think he's right. In that philosophy, he's working with his own employees. When you're a general contractor, you have multiple subcontractors. You have to make sure that a lack of productivity is not an excuse for not doing lean. And you do have to transfer the money forward. And what I mean by that is, you're not paying more for lean on a job site if you say, I'm going to have planning meetings, last planner system, morning huddles every day, and then 30 minutes of setup every day. You're not spending more money than you would have, because the old way of doing business, you eat that money up and waste. But with a lean culture, you spend that money up front. But
So basically, in a nutshell, same money, different buckets.
yeah. No, I like that. I'm glad you simplified that, because until you get a lean subcontractor, a lean trade partner that understands that and doesn't think they need to charge you more, like we have a couple of those. Like, wouldn't you say our electrician, they're a lean contractor, when we tell them we're going to do last planner, morning meetings, safety huddles every day, 30 minutes of setup time, they're not going to charge us more. They know that they're going to make money.
They get it.
They get it. But with everybody else, you really have to set this up in the contracts ahead of time. So we have a couple of really cool things that I don't think all contractors do. So everybody has their basis of estimate, right? Where we have clarifications. We list out what is and is not in our estimate. But we do a basis of schedule, where we go through and identify the basis of schedule. What is it built around? What are the assumptions? What are the broken out areas? What are the key overlaps? So on and so forth. And we have some really great templates for that. So at BSRL, and Jake, I'm going to go through a couple things that we did here, but you can really provide the perspective of what it was like to come on after this was all set up. But at BSRL, we said, here are the areas, here's the schedule, here's the rhythm, the Takt, which we'll talk about Takt planning later, but here's the Takt, the rhythm of the job, and the 1-page 11x17 one-piece flow schedule that governs the interiors. This is how our meetings will be set up. This is how last planner will be set up. This is how we'll do our safety on a daily basis. You will be shut down if you're not clean, so on and so forth. Everything that we wanted to do with lean and safety and quality was in that basis of schedule, and it became an attachment to the contract. And we spent a lot of time in pre-construction verbalizing that, meeting with people and saying, look, you need to make sure you understand what we're going to do. And so we didn't have any problem with it. Nobody was bought into it, and they actually kind of thought we were joking. But when we got on site and it came time to shut people down, when it came time to not do composite cleanup crews, when it came time to do the 30-minute setups every day, I never got a comment, oh, my PM says we don't have money for this.
And that was really fun to have that, and have the foreman not freaking out and hyperventilating about, oh my gosh, someone's going to kill me for doing this. We're wasting so much time.
Yeah.
And one of the things, we broke ground, the 15th of December?
Yeah, 2015.
Something like that. I came on like 2 days after, but everything pretty much was set up. One of the major things even if I'm trying to think of an example, here's something that we hadn't decided was going to be part of our standard work. We hadn't decided when I got on site as of at the 15th or whatever December that we were going to require everyone to be OSHA 10. We hadn't done that yet. And one of the things that I like that we did on this project is we voted as a team. And I think that's where it starts. We had Jason and a few other guys that did all of the pre-con that took care of a lot of this stuff, but they sold us on it and asked what we thought even after it was set. And there was some finite modifications, or it's like the clay pot deal, right? You're molding it until it gets hard, and once it's hard, you use it, and it stays what it is. But I think that was super important also,
meaning that we were pliable for a lot of these decisions, but because we had paid for enough of this and we had warned them about enough of this, they were like, okay, yeah, I understand that some of these things are going to be implemented as a team, right?
True.
We would see trends of people not spending the time, going straight to work. And in the morning meetings, this is what we would preach. We'd be like, look, no general contractor that makes you hit the ground running as soon as you get on site is doing the right thing. You need to come to work, put your tools away, do your pre-test plan, walk your area for safety, and go set up your day clean, organized, get your tools ready, and make sure you have a plan. And this is what we said. So the foremen were there, a lot of the superintendents were there. We said, all right, right here and now, no foreman, no superintendent on site is to tell you that you don't have those 30 minutes. No foreman or superintendent on site is to tell you you don't have time to clean. We're standing between you and your PMs. We're saying, look, we already paid for this. You leave these foremen and superintendents and workers alone. Nobody is going to tell you that you don't have the time or the money to go do these things. And we paid for, if I go to Cold Stone Ice Cream, I'm going to buy it. And I buy a chocolate ice cream and I pay $5.65 for that. And I got my 3 mix-ins or whatever. And you don't give me my ice cream, I'm going to be upset. I want my ice cream. If I give you my $5, you give me my ice cream. And we paid the $5, so you all need to give us the clean, organized, safe, lean job site that we paid for. And then that's when everybody gets it. So I'll close this by just answering a couple of questions that we often get. And so what is the total cost of the project? $85 million in construction costs, $100 million total. Basically, was there a savings offset for anything that we did for lean? And the answer is that the benefits were cleanliness, safety, no rework for interiors, happy people. We won another project with the same owner, best-in-class operation, improvement to humanity. This is mostly touchy-feely stuff. So if somebody said, am I going to spend a couple of bucks up front and what am I going to get in return? It really comes down to operation. And, whether or not you're able to go on the job site and look at the bathrooms, cleanliness, morale, turnover, safety, quality, organization, enjoyment of the team, and actually see good results. We didn't have any money given back by any of the trade partners, but we did have money that wasn't needed, meaning it wasn't taken from contingency. Typically, you use a certain percentage on jobs like these, and we were a certain amount under that. So I think technically you could say that there was a percentage of savings, but it really comes down into the operations and getting more work and being a great service provider for our customers. I think those are the major questions that we're always asked. But yeah, no, there's definitely a value. It was better for us when we started doing all this, some of the trade partners put in as line items, OSHA 10, OSHA 30, this is the cost. Morning meetings, this is the cost, blah, blah, blah. Some of those folks, we had to go over to their offices and say, look, this is the benefit, and or do some wheeling and dealing so it didn't actually show up as a line item in their estimate that we actually had to go reconcile and was in view of all the auditors. It basically we had them included as a part of their cost of work or the man hours that they had estimated for any particular scope. So it's kind of a delicate thing. It isn't a, hey, this is what we're going to do, give me an exact price back. There's a whole lot of communication that has to happen up front, and then you obviously have to get the pricing in the right format. So, but to close, if you want something, you have to pay for it. especially with new trade partners. With the trade partners that have done this on a job or two with you, then obviously they give you a real good price. They know that they're going to save money, and it works out all the way around. So, Jake, anything else before we close that one? All right. Well, thank you all. We'll see you on the next one.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.